Hey everybody, it's HBCU Game Day. I'm Tolly Carr. You know what it is this weekend, man. We have Jackson State going to Alabama A&M for their homecoming. As if that's not enough, we got a little smoke in the air, at least from one side. We got some smoke blowing from Huntsville. Jackson's kind of letting it fly over for now, but the week is still young. Joining me now from the pregame show, the Pregame Show. It is my man, Neely. He only needs one name, Neely. Neely, what's going on, brother? You're coming off a bye week and just jumping literally right back into the frying pan.
Right back into the frying pan, dead in the hot center of the frying pan. What a bye week. We needed it. We got a lot of injuries, needed to rest up. Coaches needed to get refocused and dialed up. So bye week couldn't have come at a better time, but we don't go into a relaxed mode after that bye week. We hit the ground running with a road trip to Huntsville.
All right, man. So we got a lot of places to go. Let's start here. I asked Coach Sanders this earlier in the week. The one thing he still seems to harp on is the run game. That is the one thing that just hasn't jumped off the screen as you watch Jackson State. There may be other areas for improvement, but a common dope like me can watch the game and say, maybe the run game isn't as strong as they want it to be.
It's certainly the focus, but it's not the running backs. It's the offensive line that's the focus. Visited with Coach Prime early today, and he doesn't mince his words when he comes to it. He said he is looking for better, stronger offensive line play against Alabama A&M, which is going to spark that run game. And get this, Tolly, it's better offensive line play or else. And the or else is we're going to start looking for some better offensive linemen. And Coach Prime doesn't bluff.
Okay, I'm a dummy when it comes to football. I couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie when it comes to football. Neely, is it getting off the ball quicker? Is it just being stronger with holding your block, creating more avenues? What are some of the particular things that aren't quite where they want it to be on the offensive line?
Well, it's all that and then some. There is technique-wise, there is a difference between pass protection, pass blocking, and run blocking. And we've been decent. We've been average. We've been above the average at run blocking. You got a quarterback in Shedeur Sanders who statistically on the percentage of passes completed is leading the SWAC at 72%. He has a nice pass repertoire, being able to hit balls and targets all over the field. So the pass protection blocking, even though you didn't see it like the level you'd expect it to against Delta State, because he was sacked a few times and even had a shoulder stinger toward the back half of the game, pretty much the pass protection blocking hasn't been the issue. It's been the run blocking, being able to open up those holes, open up those gaps for the running backs to get through. Your back shouldn't be getting touched in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. You want that first contact to be 2 or 3, 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, and that just hadn't happened yet. And Coach Prime has not hesitated to say that he's dissatisfied with that, and it's not up to the Prime standards, I call it. And it's going to have to get there. It's going to be some changes.
Defensively, things have gone fairly well. Looking as if it's one of the strongest defenses in the league, easily in that conversation. Alabama A&M, one of the strongest offenses in the league, easily in that conversation. What gives on Saturday? If this happens, then what? What advantage do you see possibilities for either team?
Well, I know I got this J on my hat, and people are going to think this is some homeboy ball, some homerism, but I got to go with the defense. Defense travels. That offense of Alabama A&M is coming off a questionable performance, to say the least, on their road trip to Grambling. And that offense is pretty much the same offense that the Tigers faced this spring. And it wasn't a blowout. When Alabama A&M won in Jackson, it was by a few points here. But this defense is so much better than the one we had in March and April. So I'm expecting the defense of the Jackson State Tigers to be more dominant than they were this spring and to really be able to corral and contain that offense from Alabama A&M. So this defense is no joke. They have consistently showed up for every game this season when their backs against the wall on the goal line or protecting from the deep ball. This defense knows how to perform, and they raise to the occasion, and they're looking forward to it, man. When you're out there talking to those players at practice, they're up for this challenge. They want to show that this D-line, this linebacker core, and even the secondary is strong enough to stop a high-powered offense in the SWAC.
when you have that many receivers like Alabama A&M does, when you'll be at the game, obviously, are there any particular positions on that defense that you're going to watch closely when it comes to, facing a team that has so many perimeter options like Alabama A&M does?
They do have a lot of perimeter options, but we got a lot of perimeter option stoppers. That secondary to Jackson State with Dejon Warren back there, Nugget, Shiloh Sanders at safety, who does not hesitate to come up, make a hit, and make receivers think twice about running that route that the offense coordinator wants them to run. I think we have the weapons on our side of the ball, on the defense side of the ball, to put a stop to that offense. But the biggest thing is the difference, I think, from right now to the spring with the Tigers defense is that this spring, Alabama A&M's quarterback Glass got to kind of stand in the pocket and pick his targets. This is a much different defensive line, much different edge rushers, much different linebackers. I don't think he's going to be standing still flat-footed in the pocket picking those targets downfield. I think the secondary is going to have them covered. But before they even break open, I'm expecting our defensive line, our edge rushers, to have him rolling out of the pocket and even trying to run for his life a little bit.
Well, one thing that is the same from the spring, and that's the same to head coaches. No doubt the two biggest personalities when it comes to coaches in the SWAC. You guys can rank them however you want to. I know your personal affiliations would come into play, but look, there's no two bigger mouthpieces that like to have a good time than Coach Sanders and Coach Maynard there at Alabama A&M. This spring, Coach Maynard said, hey, get more 5-stars. That was kind of his jab that he put in. This week it was, hey, send me a scooter. How have his comments played in Jackson? Has it been received kind of tongue-in-cheek, fun? Was it personal? How did it play where you are?
I think it's riled up the fan base. You see a lot of chatter in the e-space and the social media space with Jackson State fan base, but it hadn't gotten under Coach Sanders' skin. I mean, Coach Prime has been at the upper echelon of trash talking, if you will, in the NFL and having to back it up. So from his vantage point, he's not responding to it. He's going to let the play speak for itself. I think it's good for the SWAC. I think it's good for the conference. This is not, some personal beefs where people are going at each other with personal attacks. This is some nice energy for the fan base, some nice red meat, get people excited. The old school used to call it bulletin board material. But one thing about the Jackson State Tigers, they don't need any exterior or outside motivation to get up for this game. So you don't see the players talking about it. Coach Prime has pretty much dismissed it and said the scoreboard is going to speak for itself. We'll do our talking after the game and let the play do the talking for us during the game. So he's not biting the hook. But, Coach Maynard is a personality, man. And folks, their eyebrows go up at it and their antennas go up at it. But you see this kind of thing in the SEC. Jimbo Fisher doesn't mince his words. Lane Kiffin doesn't hold back. Coach O doesn't hold back in LSU. So that kind of thing, I think, is good for the HBCU and SWAC environment as far as energy building up to a game. But we're going to see who gets the last laugh on that scoreboard. And Coach Prime, that's what he's focused on, man, not responding in pregame press conferences, but responding when that clock hits zeros.
Yeah, I think it's great for the fans. And it's a unique situation for all of the coaches. All of the coaches, I would imagine, I'm not going to speak for them, but they are appreciative of having Coach Sanders here and the following and the eyeballs and the exposure that he brings. That's a no-brainer from where I sit. But with the exception of Coach Maynard, they don't want to get into any back and forth because it can be awkward from this standpoint. It's like, hey, we appreciate you, but we want to beat you. So how about we just don't talk about any of it? Let's just show up and play. So it doesn't have to be a big thing each week. But Coach Maynard, being from Fayetteville, North Carolina, is a little different there, a town I lived in for a few years. And he has all of his HBCU credit hours playing at Winston-Salem State and North Carolina A&T under Bill Hayes, who's a talker himself. He'll hit you with a jab. He understands. Everybody understands what's going on. I think it's all fun and it's all great. Coach Sanders, I understand his position. Look, you're an NFL Hall of Famer. You're in the upper room when it comes to the conversation about football. You just can't be jabbing with any and everybody. So there is some delicacies there, but I'm glad that the fan bases are both excited, Neely, because like you said, I think that part of it is really great.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's great for the fan base, good energy. And I think if Coach Sanders, Coach Prime wanted to respond, I think he could respond. If you look at his NFL career, as much as his personality, his charisma suggests trash talking, he really wasn't known for that. He was known for just shutting you up with his play and being an entertainer in that regard. But the guy has a mouthpiece now, and he can work it. So I don't know if you really want to poke that bear too many times, because if you get that response, it might be a knockout. But again, he's focused on the knockout on that scoreboard. He's focused on post game. So I think this is going to be a lively relationship between these two coaches, as far as the mouth on one end and the just grinning and bearing and answering on the scoreboard on the other. But this is this first step, Tolly, in this chain for a big October for the Jackson State Tigers. So they're focused one step at a time, and that's just on Alabama A&M, the football players, and not the coach.
Yeah, and one thing Coach Sanders said that was interesting during the press conference, he was like, look, glass has to show up. All the people that we talk about, whether they're on Jackson State or not, this is the month of October. This is when championship pictures start to get decided. This is when fans decide, hey, this team is actually fun to watch on Saturday. We figured out Clemson's not Clemson anymore. Maybe not every single person wants to watch them. It creates small channels of opportunities for HBCU fans or for the HBCU product to pick up new fans. And Coach Sanders said, look, all the guys who are your top players, they got to dominate. And, Jackson State or not, this is the month that everybody's got to show up and show out.
Yeah, and, when you talk about players with aspirations to go into the NFL, one of the things that Coach Sanders has always said to his own team and to everyone else playing in the SWAC is that you got to dominate in your conference. You have to be that guy when you play against other guys. So, for the guys on our team that want to go to the league, this is the weekend to show they're league worthy by putting up big performances against Alabama A&M, another program that has some notoriety to it as far as winning, as far as a charismatic coach, as far as having a quarterback that has an NFL potential. So a lot of spotlight and eyes will be on this game. And folks are going to be stepping up, man, all over the field for both schools. So I think at the end of the day, you're going to witness a hell of a ball game. I think Jackson State is going to be victorious. But just like when we played FAMU, you're going to be watching a game that they're going to be both people from both schools that end up in the NFL.
Crowd, it's going to be homecoming. How much of thee is going to be on the road? How many seats? How much space did they leave you? How much you think you can fill up there?
Man, we're getting all we can. The Tigers travel well. Of course, we lead in home attendance, but we travel well. So we're trying to get about 10,000 Jackson State Tiger fans in that stadium. But, as always, it happens, man. Somehow those links to the ticket sales sites don't work and people have problems logging on and you get all that kind of jive going on. But we're going to get as many people as we can there, having a meet and greet at the hotel on Friday night at the team hotel. And the Huntsville Alumni Association for Jackson State is putting that on. So it's going to be a well-attended game. It is their homecoming. And, Tyler, you and I got a little age on us. And remember back in the day when somebody scheduled you for homecoming, it was an insult. You got up for that game. Like, how dare you do that? Now, in this new age, a lot of times with athletic directors, you don't get the opportunity to pay a lot of attention to that. You got to fill in games where you can. And sometimes you get an opponent that you really didn't want for homecoming, but you got to deal with. Either way, I think it serves as motivation, particularly for our fan base, that we can go to Huntsville, get a little payback from the spring, knock off the spring defending champion, and ruin their homecoming as well.
How long of a trip is that for you guys from Jackson to Huntsville?
About 5 hours from Jackson. It's not the 6 hours that Atlanta is, but you kind of go that way and cut up through Birmingham and Gaston to get on to Huntsville. So Huntsville is also a great recruiting market for Jackson State. You get a lot of students from that area of Alabama that choose to come to Mississippi to school, because a lot of folks like to leave home. So we got a strong alumni base and alumni chapter there. So we're looking forward to going to A&M territory, man, and taking over.
Man, the Rocket City. They're going to light it up this weekend, man. I can't wait. I got a game I'm going to go to here in Atlanta, man, but I'm going to be on the sidelines, Neely shooting my game. I'm going to have my phone. I'm going to be on split screen, brother. I gotta check that one out for sure.
Hey, it should be entertaining. It should be a great game. It should be a wonderful post-game press conference, with these two coaches and their personalities as they address the media at the end of the game. But speaking of addressing, Tolly, share this with you. Sat in with Coach Sanders speaking to the team this morning. And he really got inspirational and motivational with them, talking about dreams and desires and wants and what you need in life and what those different words mean and who all is dreaming about something, but who wants it enough to work hard for it. He got them fired up, and they're ready to go to this game and improve. The Jackson State is not just top of the swag, top of the HBC world, but, tops just in college football in this football division. So it's going to be a good game, man. I think that at the end of the day, the Jackson State defense is going to show and prove that these past 4 games have not been a fluke with what they bring to the table. I'm also expecting, some new nuances in the offensive attack. There's going to be some wrinkles put in, having some coaches who have been in the press box helping call games are probably going to be a little more active on the sideline, just trying some new adjustments, man, to see if we can get a spark and get that offense that showed up in Memphis for the Southern Heritage Classic to show up for Alabama A&M.
All right, man. It is going to be something. A little birdie told me today, man, that there's going to be a special guest there for the coin flip. They wouldn't give me all the details because if they would, folks, I would let you know. I'd break it. But there's some special stuff lined up for the weekend, man. So it's going to be good everywhere you go. So you guys be safe, have fun, do a little chirping, but just remember, it's a game. We all love it. And we'll live to fight another Saturday after this one, no matter which way it goes. But Neely, which way is it going to go? Huh?
It's going to go Jackson State. Jackson State 35, Alabama A&M 17. Write it down.
Oh, you're going to hold that offense to 17? Okay.
We're going to hold it, man. They're going to get 7 of that on a fluke. Like, we're really going to hold them to 10.
Hey, it's out there. It's on the internet right now. 35-17, says Neely. All right, man. We're going to be watching it. We'll talk about it. Brother, I appreciate your time as always, man. Have a good time. Have a safe trip. And enjoy that game this weekend.
Always a pleasure, man, to work with you and our partners at HBCU Game Day, to tell these stories about Black college football, particularly from the Jackson State perspective. So thanks you for all you do in opening your door, man. And anything we can do for 1400 Lynch Street to help you and your brand and what you're doing, you can count on us.
Send me some of that red rose sausage, man. Drop it in the box. It'll be good.
Hey, how'd you know I got some?
I know you, man. I know you. All right, he's Neely. I'm Tolly Carr. It's HBCU Game Day. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us.